Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Paul Godfrey. I am doing my first YouTube video. I'm an attorney. I do litigation mainly. I live in Florida. This isn't legal or investment advice. My opinions are my own. They're not representative of any company, anything like that. I did mean to start this a bit sooner, but this month has been pretty crazy for me. Went on vacation with my lovely girlfriend at the beginning of the month, and one of the things that I saw that I thought was interesting in front of the Rockefeller Center was a quote by Mr. Rockefeller, and he says that every right implies a responsibility. And I just thought that was neat insofar as my Twitter handle is digital R&R for rights and responsibilities. It was just interesting for me. Something else I thought that was interesting is I didn't think I had an accent. However, contrary to what I believed, apparently I have a draw, and so my girlfriend's friends from New York told me the same, but it is what it is. A bit later on after that, towards the end of the vacation, very last day, I actually had some unfortunate news, and normally I won't do anything like this, but I think it's important. One of my friends from college, unfortunately, he committed suicide. So just for this one time, if you're having problems in your life, here's some numbers you can call. People care about you. Your family loves you. Be kind and be well to each other. That's really important. And let's see, what is next? All right, so that was the first 2 weeks of July. The last 2 weeks of July was basically me trying to figure out this software. Holy heavens, microphones and recording and streaming. Well, not streaming, but video capturing, and hooey, it's been a trip. Anyway, it's July 29th right now. I will be lucky to have this video uploaded by August 1st, but I'm doing my best here, folks, so just bear with me. Hopefully, as I get better at it, things won't take nearly as long. Anyway, so my main purpose here is not to promote any one digital currency or asset. I do hold various digital currencies and assets, and I do believe that as the trust net develops, their values will increase. I support adoption of digital currencies and assets, but if you're looking for somebody who is going to tell you we're going to moon, any day XRP, that's not my bag. I don't do charts. I don't do day trading. That's not to say one can't make money off day trading, and the people who do charts are unintelligent or not smart. Quite to the contrary, they probably have more money than I do. I have no idea if or when anything will go to the moon, as they say. I do believe certain digital assets and currencies will moon, but I'm here to give my thoughts on the legal side of things, so I'm not going to be a pep cheerleader who makes you feel good. I'm just here to share what I think is interesting. So my goals for this channel, basically, education for others and myself. Divide it kind of into two parts: content aggregating and content creating. I'm going to focus more on content creating. That's why I'm here primarily. So, I see something, legal thoughts, etc. Especially regarding regulatory certainty and how digital assets and currencies may affect the legal fields. But I'm also here to learn too. So part of what I do involves reading technical white papers, trying to understand the technology itself. If I say something that is factually incorrect, please correct me. Whether it's history-wise, software functionality-wise. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to misinform anybody. For the most part, I am just here to go ahead and give you my opinion on things. And then the last purpose is I do think that digital assets will be very powerful, and we need to be cautious. You can't just go ahead and have some sort of technology with a revolutionary functionality and not expect there to be consequences or externalities. Again, I support digital assets. I hope they are adopted. But for instance, look at the nuclear bomb. Initially they helped us in 2 world wars, but shortly thereafter, they played a very large part in a costly 40-year Cold War thereafter. So, digital assets, I believe, are on that level regarding their functionality. I support their adoption. However, I have a feeling that some people may take my hesitance in certain areas as, offensive or negativity or not supporting their adoption. And, as my grandpa would say, you got to do what you got to do. Or as one of my colleagues says, one does what one must. Yeah, that's life. But without any further ado, I want to get started on something that I think is interesting, which is, let's get this page open. Ripple's open letter to Congress. I believe it came out this morning. Yes, July 29th. What was interesting to me about this letter, besides the fact that they're asking for regulatory certainty, is that in this letter, they do not use the phrase digital asset once. Every single time they use the word digital, it is followed by the word currency. And I think that's an important distinction to know, especially later on when we're doing things like analyzing how we test securities, et cetera, how things will be regulated. Not only is a token not a coin, currency is an asset. I believe a currency would be a cash equivalent. DAI would be able to tell you better than I. So anyway, for this purpose, this open letter asks regulation on digital currencies, not digital assets specifically. And right now it might be a distinction without a difference, but as things develop, I think it will be interesting to see if Congress or any other government entity for that matter regulates digital currencies differently from digital assets. So that also brings into light what I'm moving on to next, which is a token versus a coin. I will be coming back to the digital asset versus digital currency in that article by Ripple, because that's what I want to do my next video on, but more on that later. What's the difference between a token and a coin? What do you understand the difference in that? And people with more technical background than I can explain that. But generally speaking, coins operate with their own blockchain and protocol, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and then tokens offer a different functionality based on a specific blockchain. The two most popular with which I am familiar is Ether and the Ethereum blockchain and Tron's blockchain. So Ethereum is the coin, and here's a list of, I guess it's kind of old because BNB is still there. I believe they migrated off already, but a bunch of tokens that have been on the Ethereum blockchain. So same thing goes with Tron. Here's a list of Tron tokens. On a side note, I thought that was interesting. Let's see if I can find it. As I was perusing this Lime, they're a company. They work with Uber, and I believe they rent out scooters. I used some in Austin. Those were fun. We saw Ziegler Park as a part of a memorial. It was very nice. Anyway, that doesn't really matter for now. So that's pretty much it for now. Just some basic food for thought, understanding the difference between an asset and a currency. From my basic understanding right now, all digital currencies are digital assets, but not all digital assets are digital currencies. My future videos, I plan on working on the classification of digital assets on a legal level. Something that I think would be fun to have, subcategories in the channel are, I will keep abreast of the Ripple case in California. It's in federal district court, and the Craig Wright case in Florida, where I live, represent Sunshine State. What? Also born in California, though. I moved out when I was 8, so anyway. But that costs money because to get the documents and research, it goes through Pacer. So I will go through those, but it will be slowly because I actually have to pay to get the documents and take the time to read them. I would like very much to go into Facebook and Libra and Hedera Hashgraph, insofar as Hedera put out a very large newspaper article saying they were similar. They will probably get their own treatment from me. And then, any other events that cause thoughts to fly around in my head at night and keep me sleepless, things like that. So this first video, I also want to go into something which I will touch on more, which is the notion of government, digital assets, and the power of the purse in Congress. Generally speaking, let's see if I can pull it up here. And this is just something food for thought. I'll talk more about it in the next video I have, but you go to power of the purse. And basically, generally speaking, the power of the purse is how governments, basically, let's see if we can find a nice Wikipedia article. Power of the purse is how governments use money to control things. Specifically, the legislative branch of the United States has the power of the purse. The executive branch, generally speaking, is known as having the power of the military, and the judicial branch, what we were taught in law school, has the power of prestige. It sounds a little hoity-toity, but basically what the opinions of the people on the bench, they matter. So that's something to think and mull over, and I'll go more on that later. But so some concepts to understand for this video, digital assets versus digital currencies, tokens versus coins, and then the notion of the power of the person. I'll touch on more on that in my next video. Like I said, planning on doing one video a week. Well, maybe I didn't say that yet. I do have a day job. I enjoy what I do. I like it. Also, I try to do things like be healthy and exercise, and it takes time to research these things. My opinions are my own. Again, not representative of anybody else. This is not legal advice. This is not investment advice. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and I will finish off by saying be kind and be well to each other.